Afi, hello, how are you? It's so good to see you.
Good to see you, Hannah.
How's your day been?
Been busy. Had a meeting in the morning with my supervisors and the whole team. So, and then now working on a grant. So yes, been busy.
Very cool. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to the Me Project. So, if
Anytime.
we jump in straight away on the topic of self-esteem, what does having value look like to you?
I think if I may quote the words of Miles Monroe, I think it's important to know that every seed has the capacity of a tree.
Mm,
It doesn't matter what seed it is, there is the potential of that tree, of that seed to become a tree. And importantly, the grand design, when an iPad is going to be made, it's first of all drawn in paper. It means the future
yeah.
of that product, it's already known. And so is every individual at every level. When God designs an individual,
Mm,
that future is known. And but everything is in the seedling, everything is in the grand design, and it's always a seed. But the potential to move up from that seed to the next, it's always depending on the environment. It depends on whether it's being watered. Is it the right water? Is it
mm.
in the right soil? And sometimes the soil can be different, and sometimes you have to evolve, and that's what evolution is all about. I'll shut the door, just the
Your
baby.
lovely little one. Oh,
Yeah. And and so when it comes to what it means to having value, yes, I think initially the author of creation automatically sets in that
mm,
value, and so every other thing is added value. And to me, it's not by how much I've lived
mm.
or how much I've acquired while living, but it's by how many lives I've been able to make a difference as I go across with them. And
Wow.
so that's my yardstick. And I think it should be for every individual, and not that because people tend to use value, they tend to measure value by what they have achieved relative to another person, and it could be very dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. So, Afi, how has that self-worth journey in your life, how's that changed your day to day?
To be honest, it's pushed me to always be better.
Mm,
Every
yeah,
time I try to be better, and I don't try to be better by comparing myself to Bill Gates or Steve Jobs,
yeah.
but in the field where I am in, which is doing research in medicine,
Yeah.
I want to I want to find answers to diseases that have not been understood, such as type
Mm,
1 diabetes. And so every day, it doesn't matter how many times I fall, I just know that the answer is not yet there, and I'll be
mm,
happy if the next human being is no longer suffering from type 1 diabetes, because it's a small contribution. It doesn't have to be the recipe for the cure, it just has to be a small piece to the bigger
yeah,
puzzle. And
yeah.
that's what we all take from this. It's not about making the big puzzle, it's about just a small drop in that puzzle
Mm,
that contributes to much more substance. And so I wake up every morning, I try to get a grant, and I'm hoping that we go back to the lab so I can find answers. The
yeah.
energy is always there. And trust me, in the field of research, there is a lot of failures, but the driving force is that you want people to be better. And so
Mm,
you wake up with this feeling, I'm going to make people better if I just
mm.
find a small piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I love what you said about it's not necessarily doing the big thing, but it's adding your bit to that puzzle piece. I think
Yes.
lots of times in society, there's that push to be the thing of whatever it may be, and actually,
Mm.
it's a community, it's a collective to
Yeah.
all work together. So, after you spoke earlier about the seed and every seed having that potential to be a tree and finding the right soil and the right water. For you, what helped you realize that self-worth? What was your soil and your water?
So that's a good question. You when you're growing up,
Mm.
you you find people who either teach a particular subject core or who pass on a message in such a clear manner that you don't miss it. And even
Mm.
though not everybody got it, you got it so well that you wanted to understand it more.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that was the field of science while
Mm.
growing. There's
Yeah.
something about science. I didn't have to be the best at it, but
Mm.
I just loved it so much because either of one teacher or another explaining it with so much passion
Mm.
that made me feel like I think I could be good at this.
Yeah.
It's not that I was the best, but my believe it or not, my nickname back home when I was in secondary school was scientist. And that's because when people ask me, what do you want to become? I said scientist. I just love it was just fascinating. And that
Yeah.
for science, that passion to understand those those simple things that we explain, and not everybody loves science, but the passion almost kind of give way to lead, like it kind of leads you to what you want to really achieve in life. And
Mm.
then to finally understand that understanding science might really help people who are suffering
Yeah.
made a huge difference.
Yeah.
It made a
That's so
difference.
cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. So you've talked a lot about your passion, and for people who are maybe thinking, you know, that are in that school age and thinking, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what really makes me tick. I don't know what I could wake up each morning and go, I'd love to do that. What would be your top tip for people with maybe a lower self-esteem, or just looking of what that passion could be for them?
So I read this from somewhere, but you could go a bit you could go about it in different set of ways. You could go by trying the things that you like, but don't wait for it to feel right.
Mm.
It
Oh, okay.
doesn't have to
Interesting.
feel right. Yeah, it's going about it. So there are many times you wake up on a science day and you go to the lab and everything fails.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean science is not the right thing. Now, what makes the difference between you knowing that that's the right thing for you is when it fails and you still wake up and say, I'm going to do it even though I've
Yeah,
failed.
I will find it.
Yes,
Mm.
that is your
Yeah.
cue. So if you wake
Yeah.
up and you're looking for your passion and you reach a particular subject matter or a particular job, and each time the manager or somebody does something wrong, you're like, I still love the job. It doesn't matter how many times they put me down, I'm still going to try to be the best. And you just find yourself with this unlimited amount of energy that keeps putting you back up.
Mm.
Know that you're in that place, but there's a thin line between knowing that you're in that place and falling, and you have to be
Yeah.
careful that
Yeah.
you're not just encouraging yourself to be in a place where you don't really want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and but you know it when you get there. It's like you're thriving, even though there are things that are causing you to fall. You're still making baby steps and going on.
Yeah.
Then you know that you're there. I think that's for me. I
Yeah.
found that even though I had sometimes colleagues who were not quasi feasible, I still
Mm.
found a way to go in and still do science and still thrive at it. And some
Mm.
days experiments failed, but I still woke up. Self-esteem is such a big topic because
Mhm.
sometimes you fall and you don't feel like waking up from the fall.
Mm.
And it's easy to lie down because you've fallen, and not wake up
Yeah.
and thrive for something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I guess so. Knowing that everybody has that potential, and then when you find that passion, just really digging into it. And I guess also you mentioned like different people along your journey that helped you, so allowing people to help you on your journey.
That's
Hey.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's like the environment. one thing people with self-esteem, with low self-esteem, forget sometimes is that if you stay in a toxic environment, then you
Yeah.
can't grow and succeed.
Yeah.
And so you've got to go out of it. And sometimes it's your room. You just lock
Mm.
yourself in your room, and all you need to do is go out of that environment, avoid the temptation. There's a Forbes list
Mhm.
of being better at controlling your low self-esteem.
Mm.
And they talk about removing the temptation, and one of the temptations is the environment. Talking about eat healthy, they talk about forgive yourself. Because
Mm. That's really
self-esteem,
powerful.
when they
Yeah.
fail, they hardly forgive themselves, they blame themselves for failings to the extent they stare at the failure so much they forget to look ahead. And so
Mm.
you back instead of looking ahead.
Yeah.
If you go Forbes list, you get it. It's quite nice, and you don't have, like I said, you don't have to wait for it to feel right
Yeah.
to to move into it. You just have to know this is. Sometimes you just know if your
Yeah.
head and your heart is in that direction. It
Yeah.
is what it is. With low self-esteem,
Mhm.
they have particular habits that keep them there, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's changing one of them that
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Yeah.
And the biggest one in my characteristics is self-discipline. You need self-discipline, but it's also part of the power of habit. You just change one aspect and do
Yeah.
it constantly, and you're there. I'll stop at that because I could go on thinking about many
No,
things, but
it's good. It's good. Thank you so much, Effie. Take care.
yeah,
Bye.
bye.